Over 6 months of fighting in Russia's Kursk Oblast, Russian losses have reached nearly 40,000 personnel, with over 16,000 killed, Ukraine's general staff reported. Ukrainian forces have also reportedly captured 909 Russian soldiers during the operation, bolstering Kyiv's exchange fund and enabling the return of hundreds of Ukrainian defenders held in Russian prisons. The Kursk offensive remains an example of sudden, asymmetric, and successful actions by the Ukrainian defense forces, allowing them to inflict heavy losses on a superior enemy and seize the initiative on the battlefield, the General Staff added. Ukraine has held positions in Kursk Oblast since launching a cross-border incursion in August 2024, initially seizing around 1,300 square kilometers, 500 square miles, of Russian territory. While Kyiv has since lost roughly half of the captured area, fighting continues as Ukraine aims to use its presence in Kursk Oblast as leverage in potential negotiations. The operation forced the Russian occupiers to transfer significant resources to the Kursk Oblast, weakening their positions on other front lines, the statement reads. The operation in Kursk Oblast may become an important part of future negotiations to end Russia's war, President Volodymyr Zelensky said. The General Staff also highlighted that Moscow was forced to seek military assistance from North Korea, which deployed around 12,000 troops to Kursk Oblast. Of those, an estimated 4,000 have been killed. One of the 3 North Korean brigades was effectively destroyed, while the other 2 lost combat capability, forcing Pyongyang's forces to withdraw from the front lines, the General Staff said. North Korean troops have not been engaged in combat in Kursk Oblast since mid-January, South Korea's Yonhap news agency reported. On the same day, Ukraine's military intelligence chief Kirill Budanov denied reports that North Korean soldiers have not been seen on the front line for weeks. Budanov noted that the number of North Korean troops has decreased, and Ukraine is trying to establish why. We have to wait for some time to see if there are any real changes, or if this is just lower activity for a couple of days, Budanov said. Kyiv is open to negotiating with South Korea over the possible transfer of captured North Korean soldiers, Ukrainian ambassador to Seoul Dmytro Ponomarenko said in an interview with the Korea Times. Ukrainian forces captured 2 North Korean soldiers in Russia's Kursk Oblast in January, marking what President Volodymyr Zelensky called irrefutable evidence of Pyongyang's involvement in Moscow's full-scale invasion. It remains unclear whether Ukraine has captured additional North Korean soldiers. Zelensky said that the North Korean prisoners of war were injured in combat and are currently receiving medical treatment. While Ukraine and South Korea have yet to begin formal talks, Kyiv is ready to discuss the possible transfer of the soldiers to third countries, Ponomarenko said. Given the threat to the life and freedom of North Korean servicemen in the event of their repatriation to the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and if they refuse to go back, we are open for a dialogue with international partners, the ambassador said. If the captured soldiers choose to return home, Ukraine will be required to repatriate them under the Geneva Conventions. Ponomarenko called the possibility of negotiations between Kyiv and Pyongyang over the captured North Korean soldiers a very delicate issue, and declined to comment further. As of early February, about 8,000 North Korean soldiers are still fighting against Ukraine in Kursk Oblast, Ukraine's spy chief Kirill Budanov said. Up to 12,000 North Korean troops were deployed in the Russian region last fall to support Russian forces in countering a Ukrainian incursion launched 6 months ago. At least 300 North Korean soldiers have been killed, and another 2,700 wounded fighting in Russia's Kursk Oblast, South Korea's National Intelligence Service claimed in mid-January. The 429th Separate UAV Regiment Achilles continues to strike Russians in the Kharkiv region. A tank and BMP-2 were destroyed. 6 Russians were reportedly eliminated. The 429th Separate Regiment of Unmanned Systems Achilles has been actively targeting Russian forces in the Kharkiv region. Recently, the regiment destroyed a Russian tank and a BMP-2 infantry fighting vehicle, resulting in the elimination of 6 Russian soldiers. In January 2025, Achilles was expanded from a battalion to a regiment within Ukraine's ground forces, reflecting its effectiveness in combat operations. Throughout that month, the regiment destroyed 406 enemy targets and damaged 1,536 others in the Kharkiv and Kupiansk directions. Russia's Ministry of Defense loves to advertise 200,000 rubles per month, but forgets to mention the commander's tax can take up to half. Meanwhile, 155th Brigade Commander Mikhail Gudkov seems to be an expert in economics.
Collections are constant. They are collecting for something, for ATVs, for Mavics, for reps that are not in the unit. I haven't seen it. We have never been given a rep for any mission. Well, and they constantly collect. Money was being taken. Money, yes, we give it constantly, yes. They go around, collect from the houses where we live. How much? It varies, sometimes 15, sometimes 50. I heard some guys even gave 100,000. Received nothing in return. Saw nothing in return. Went on the mission. But from what I understood, there wasn't a single drone to accompany us. Who did the money go to? I don't know. I don't want to think about it. It's clear that the leadership is in charge. In my opinion, service is the last thing on their mind.
U.S. aircraft mechanics have completed a lengthy project to restore an F-35A aircraft from two separate damaged machines and are beginning to return it to the field. This is the first time that technicians have successfully reassembled F-35s from different jets to create a single operational aircraft. One aircraft was damaged by a landing gear failure in 2020, and the other was damaged by an engine fire at an airbase in Florida in 2014. The project, known as Frankenbird, was a collaboration between the F-35 Joint Program Office, Ogden Air Force Base, the 388th Fighter Wing, and Lockheed Martin. During the project, the team created unique equipment for connecting aircraft sections. The methods developed at this project stage have the potential for future use in repairing aircraft damage. When we received the aircraft, it was almost an empty shell. There were many tasks we hadn't done before, the mechanics noted. The team, along with Lockheed Martin engineers and technicians, rewired the aircraft, rebuilt the cockpit, and installed various components. Because the mechanics were performing so many tasks for the first time in the field, they were able to provide feedback that will be used to update the technical data used by all F-35 technicians when installing and testing new components. In addition to the experience and expertise gained, the cost savings to the Air Force as a result of the aircraft's remanufacturing was significant. The project is estimated to have cost less than $6 million. The new F-35A costs more than $80 million. After a successful functional test flight, the aircraft went to Lockheed Martin for final certification, after which it would return to service with the U.S. Air Force. In 2023, it was reported that South Korea would write off the fifth-generation F-35 fighter jet damaged after colliding with a bird.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. He's doing the job every day.